Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Two Idiots Reading Comics. This week is episode 12, and we're going to be talking about Fables, Volume 1. Again, like always, please follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Two Idiots RC. Follow us on anywhere you listen to podcasts at Two Idiots Reading Comics, and also on YouTube at Two Idiots Reading Comics. Again, please follow, please subscribe, please like, please share. Just anything you can do to get us out there. Again, the more we get out there, the more we can do, and the more feedback we get, the better we can be. So let's get into it, and let's have a good show.
All right, and welcome to episode
12.
I didn't take off my Vader notes.
It's 12.
That says volume 1. Get off me. Oh,
12.
Yeah, episode 12.
God dang.
This week we're going to be reading Fables.
Yeah.
How'd you like, or how are you doing this week, Davis?
Doing good, man.
Yeah.
Doing good. Surviving this crazy ass world, and the fact there might not be any sports.
Shut your goddamn mouth.
How about this? How about there's no college sports right now, and it's
Yeah, I was about to say this is September.
Well,
NFL should be starting.
we might be getting in this. Hopefully,
This is
college
going to be
sports
week
will playing
4 of
right now.
September.
Hopefully, we got some SEC. SEC
either-
should be playing,
It's either happening this past weekend
or the weekend
next
coming
weekend.
up. So,
NFL should have started by now, I think.
I hope God they do.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how addicted
This
I
is
was to football.
August 14th is why we're talking in the future.
Yeah,
Or
and
past tense. You get the idea.
whatever it is.
Um,
A lot of fourth wall shit here.
yeah. But, yeah, man.
So
this is one of my favorite weeks of every month. We get to
Yeah.
step outside the superhero realm of comic books. This week is Fables.
yeah,
Um,
you really wanted to do this one. You brought this up,
yes.
but you have never read it.
No.
So what made you want to
I saw
to do this?
I was just because the whole idea of the last week of each month was a
Well, no, right. I get that part.
Non-superhero-
But why
yeah.
was this one like
well, we do non-superhero month or one each month,
right?
and so when we were putting the schedule together, first thing I do is go to YouTube and I look top 10 non-superhero comic books, and this was on everyone's list.
Okay.
So
All right.
and I started to see why after
Yeah,
reading the first volume.
Because again, like East of West and Manifest Destiny, you had
Mm-hmm.
talked to me about a long time ago.
Yeah.
And some of the ones that we're going to be doing in the future,
Mhm.
we've talked about before.
Yeah.
We may not have read them, but we've talked about the idea of
Mhm.
them. This was the first one that you and I had never actually talked about before.
Yeah.
And that you wanted you
I just
found
went,
it. You
hey,
wanted
we're
to
gonna
read
read
it.
the.
Yeah.
I literally looked at you and said, hey, we're reading this.
Yeah,
one this
and
day.
it's great. I'm glad he did.
Yeah.
And it was just one of those that at least the others we've either ever talked about in college
Mhm.
but this was one that we never talked about before.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you found it. I'm glad people requested or rated it like they
Yeah.
did. It was fun.
Yeah. But let's go ahead. I'll go ahead and credit some people.
Yep.
The writing was done by Bill Willingham.
And he was the creator.
Yeah. Pencils, Lan Medina.
Yep.
Ink was Steve. Leo Loha. Leia.
Yeah, Leah Aloha.
Yeah.
That's how I
OHA. And Craig Hamilton. Color by Sherilyn von Valkenburg.
Yeah.
And then letters Todd Klein. And covers James Jean and Alex
Maleev.
Maleev. Maleev. Is that what you
Yeah.
had? Okay. Yeah. So those are who worked on this. So basic premise. Someone or something called the adversary has banished a bunch of characters from all these old famous fables or fairy tales.
Snow White, Prince
Um,
Charming.
Has taken over their lands and stuff like that. And so they've all come to New York City to hide.
In our world.
Yeah,
Like
our
what you
world.
would imagine like our world would be.
And because it's the one world the adversary seems to not care about.
Which I could see that because it's boring, it's mundane.
Well, I have a theory. I'll get into. But and so basically they're having to hide in secret, and it's like a whole community of people. You know, if you don't look like a human or can't afford like a special potion from the witches, you have to go live upstate New York.
Which, like, as a kid, you always hear, like in Friends, they talk about we sent the dog upstate.
When your parents died, they went to live on a farm upstate.
Yeah, that's where I was kind of thinking they were going. Is you get sent upstate, but you're actually being killed.
Oh, they show
later on. They
show
end up showing it, but at first you're sitting there and like you always hear. Like in Friends, they talk about the dog went upstate to live on the farm, and it usually means they went upstate to die.
Yeah.
Or if they died and they.
But yeah, and so basically all these fairy tale characters are living together, having to work together, and stuff like that. Pretty cool concept, and the main character is Big B Wolf, which was the big bad wolf.
Yep. And they call him Magby?
Big B.
Big B.
Yeah.
Oh. Still, where'd Big B come from, though?
Big bad wolf.
Ah, okay.
He's Big B Wolf.
Big bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's kind of funny because, like, if your character that's used multiple times, like they did it with Prince Charming too.
Yeah.
But Big Bad Wolf not only was the wolf from Red Riding Hood, he was
the
wolf from
Three Little Pigs. Yeah, I thought that was pretty good.
And they talk about it as like once everybody kind of lived together, they got a general amnesty, is what they called it. Basically, anything you did back in fairy tale land
is null and void.
We can't bring it up. We're all just trying to survive here.
Like, because they talk about that they lost their lands, they lost their money, that they lost titles. Well, they still, air quote, hold their titles, but yet it means nothing because they're now in New York.
No one thinks that they'll be able to go back and beat the adversary.
In the world they're living in now would even care because it's a fairy tale, it's not real. But all right, so one thing, like, so Prince Charming was married to Snow White,
and also
Cinderella. Okay, all right, just making sure because in my head I was reading, I'm like, okay, they talk about he had 2 wives, then Cinderella was fighting
a bunch of wives.
Bluebeard.
They also talk he was
Bluebeard. Bluebeard.
I had to look that one up. That was an old French fable about a man who killed his wives after he married them.
For what purpose? Just to get their money, or
I don't know.
Okay. I didn't look it up.
I just did a quick Wikipedia. I didn't.
Yeah.
Most fables do have a lesson you're supposed to learn. I don't know what that was for that one, but it's apparently an old French fable that did not get brought over to America.
Okay. And Red Rose, Snow White having a sister.
I don't know.
Was that just created for this?
I'm not 100% sure. I did not look that one up.
Because everybody else...
Part of me was like, well, is it Little Red Riding Hood? But then at the same time, they weren't sisters. So
no.
I don't know.
Now, they never say they weren't, though. Either way.
That one we'll have to Google.
But other than her and Bluebeard, the one that eats moss, that eats insects, I didn't write down his name, but he was the janitor.
I think that was a frog, but I think he had the potions to make him look normal.
Was that the frog that kissed becomes the prince?
Maybe. Who knows?
Okay.
He wasn't very princely.
Well, no, but
as you also saw...
But if he was still a frog and he didn't become a prince, then he gets the potion just so he can live around people. He probably wouldn't care. He just...
Yeah.
I don't know. But, and Blue Boy... It wasn't Blue Boy. The boy that he was with...
Yeah, I don't know that one either.
Yeah. There was a couple that...
There's a couple that had to, I guess, reach for, like, ones that didn't make it to America or just haven't...
Yeah. Or were easy that they could kind of play off of without stepping on anybody's toes.
Yeah.
Like Snow White.
And I'm sure there was a bunch of stuff they wanted to hold on to for future too.
Well, yeah.
So they just,
but really cool. Just the idea of fables being in the real world, kind of like the TV show.
Once Upon a Time.
Once Upon a Time, but not like Once Upon a Time. This was a lot of different stuff going on. But
now there is a video game series, the Telltale video game series. Did make a prequel to the Fables comics.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Now, I might just be making this up, but I feel like I heard someone was trying to make Fables a TV show. I don't know if it's true. But
I don't know how it would fly with Once Upon a Time being as popular as it was. I would see that they're trying to.
Yeah.
Fables, I would see that they would be trying to rip it off.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, there would have to be like
original,
a whole bunch of stuff based off the critically acclaimed comic or something like
right.
that. Right. But again, I might just be making that up. I don't remember. It sounds like something I heard, but yeah, man. What did you think?
It was cool. Again, not knowing what was going in, I wasn't really sure how they were gonna do it. I knew where they were gonna go with it.
From the previews, I knew it was a mystery, which I was happy about.
I went in this blind. I
love like whodunits and stuff like that, and so I was happy.
That's why you like Batman so damn much.
Yeah.
But
they don't do it as often as I would.
When Batman was a detective.
Yeah, I like Detective
Batman. The way he is now, kind of. But yeah, so I didn't have any ideas of going into it, where it was going, and I like the way that they set up that all of the fairy tales, the fable stories, they lived in worlds and different dimensions as well.
Yeah.
That they weren't just one world that everybody lived in. He says multiple worlds, multiple dimensions.
I didn't catch the dimensions. I thought it was all one dimension, but it was a land so vast that it could hold thousands of kingdoms.
And maybe his words of saying world meant like, if you said world now, you think of North America, South America, Australia, Africa.
The way I thought, there's a couple text boxes that in my head made it sound like they're all from the same dimension, but it's a land so vast it can support hundreds of kingdoms.
Okay, all right, that makes sense.
And they're all thousands of miles apart. Okay, and had never met each other.
Okay, that makes sense.
And they just kind of went hopping one to one.
Then a dimension hopping.
Yeah.
But
everyone fled to a different land until
eventually.
eventually.
They might bring that up later, but how did they get from their dimension to ours?
I don't know. Yeah.
Now, the way they portrayed the demon or
So
what do they call them? The adversary.
My theory is, I think in like issue 4, they finally have their little Met Gala or whatever.
Right, their yearly Remembrance Day.
Tell the story of what happened. They said no one really knows what he was. Some people say he was a god, but he fell from the heavens.
Ooh.
And so now he's taking over our world. And they had him as like a little half man, half goat bottom with red eyes and horns and stuff like that.
So you're thinking Lucifer?
Lucifer? He might be Satan. I don't know if that's true.
I was thinking he looked a lot like Krampus, the evil version of Santa.
Yeah.
And just now in my head going, oh, maybe Santa in our world is what keeps Krampus out of this world. But again, very, very loosely drawn conclusion.
But it would
I have nothing to back it on other than he looked like Krampus.
But then it would also kind of make sense of like, well, maybe he's trying to build on. They say he's not interested in this world, which is why we came here. Maybe he's just trying to build an army to eventually
come here
because our world has a bunch of Christians and stuff like that.
I don't know.
I'm sure they'll go into it in the future, but
I could.
That
see
was my theory after one volume.
If it is Krampus,
yeah,
that Santa is also a fable in our world, the world they're living in. That maybe Santa is what keeps Krampus out.
True.
Or Krampus may be Lucifer. Krampus may be who the fuck knows what. He could be God. He could be
the adversary.
Whatever. Yeah. He could be Thor. He could just be anything that's fallen from the graces.
But they don't go too deep into him yet.
Yeah.
I'm sure they do in future volumes, but this was mostly who killed Red Rose or Rose Red.
Rose.
I think it's Rose Red.
Rose Red, which is Snow White's sister, younger sister.
And apparently gets around
a lot.
I mean,
apparently she's with they talk about her
Jack
being with Jack and the Beanstalk, then
promising
with
herself to Bluebeard.
She has raging parties with Mundane, which is what they call our world's people,
which is normal humans.
Yeah. And apparently those ragers are
Prince Charming cheated on Snow White with her.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, If that's something you like to do,
we won't say the word, but
more power to you. If you like doing that kind of stuff, go ahead.
Yeah, but
pro-feminism podcast, maybe.
We're not touching that. We're not touching any of it with a 10-foot pole. It was very mystery. You get Jack going to Bigsby Wolf, which is Big Bad Wolf, and then Wolf going to Snow White saying, "Hey, you need to come with us because something's happened to your sister." Yeah, and Wolf is the sheriff.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool. I enjoy the fact that you get, and again, like the amnesty thing of anything from their past is irrelevant.
Yeah,
because Wolf makes a joke about Jack about used to being a giant slayer or
killed giants.
Giant slayer, and then
Jack fires back on me. He's like, "Well, didn't you kill an old granny?"
Yeah, and Wolf, you just kind of look at each other like, "Damn it."
Yeah.
But that was cool. That Wolf is. I really liked Wolf's character. He was I like that kind of character of. I mean, he smokes all the time, so you get that idea of a lone.
He's kind of
a lone wolf.
John Constantine.
Wolf, a John Constantine. He's by himself. He's a detective that no one cares, that no one wants to be friends with, but he still secretly wants to be friends with everybody.
Yeah, he was flirting it up with Snow White.
I think there's a little something going there.
At the end, she puts it down. I would not bet against them getting back together.
What I thought was cool was that I was trying to figure out how it was going to play out because Wolf.
I was about to say,
was a wolf.
Did you figure out who killed Red Rose before everything got revealed?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
When he takes his moment and he makes light of it, of the fact that I'm having my parlor scene, which I thought was funny. A little, it was a nod at
every whodunit
ever.
ever.
Every whodunit ever. And my first thought was to Sherlock. And who wrote Sherlock?
Sherlock Holmes? Could not tell you.
Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Don't look at me crazy. It's Sir Arthur Conan Doyle who wrote.
If it's wrong, I'll put it here.
Yeah. If it's right, he's going to say he's impressed.
The fact that you just pulled out some name that I couldn't question impressed me enough.
That was the first one that came to my mind because you always think of Sherlock standing there going through every little detail that he did. And I like that he stood there and went, "Oh, everything I've read, it's actually true. This is satisfying."
Yeah.
That was funny. And when he did that, I stopped and I sat there for a second. And the only thing that I could even, that I thought, I figured Bluebeard and Jack didn't do it. Like, at the time, I thought she was dead.
They were leaning so hard on Jack and Bluebeard. I was like, it's got to be.
Yeah.
Honestly, I thought it was King Cole because they talked about how much power he had.
Yeah.
But did not, address him at all. And
right.
So
didn't care, didn't talk to him.
Surely I guess he's going to play a bigger role in future books. But
my first, after I did the same thing with King Cole of maybe it's him. Maybe
why haven't we talked about him yet?
Because in all the ones that anytime you focus on two people the entire time, it's never those two people.
Yeah. Not
never, but majority.
Yeah.
I went to the pig. I don't know why. I just,
'cause he was always around.
He was always around. He's on the truck going back up to the farm when Snow White and Prince Charming are eating.
Yeah.
He sneaks back in. He's eating food at the party.
He's asleep everywhere.
And it just. And they said that he used to go to her parties. That was the only one that I was like, that is the most off the wall, oddball thing that they could do. And then it wasn't. But either way, that was the only oddball thing because they played up the pigs so much.
There were a few pages where it was just like that wasn't necessary to the story, and I thought there was a couple of them.
And that's why I was going back with the pig was because he was on Wolf's couch.
Yeah.
He was in random spots. That was the behind the scenes. Like if you're paying attention, you're going to catch the killer kind of thing.
Like there were text boxes, but you didn't see the characters yet, but the pig was there.
Yeah. That's where I thought it was going just because of, again, reading Sherlock Holmes. If you pay attention, he's telling you who did it.
Yeah.
And this one didn't. It actually didn't. When they said that she was alive, and
they kept asking is she actually dead or is she still alive?
Right.
Other than that,
I wouldn't have guessed that.
And I'll have to go back and look because they pull her up to the party and she's wearing like a black wig.
Right.
And I'd have to go back and look. I don't know if she was like in panels before that.
Oh.
And we just didn't. We just thought she was
or
a
if there's a
background
panel
character.
with her.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea. But I didn't see the fact that she hoaxed her death. I guess they kind of gave it to us when they said that Jack had another Ponzi scheme going.
Yeah.
That he was in trouble and that his girlfriends usually give him money.
Yeah.
That then once he said it, I'm sitting there going, no shit.
Yeah. A lot of broke dudes going around here.
Yeah. She swindled Bluebeard out of a lot of money, gave that money to Jack. Jack now has no money.
Because of a .com bubble.
Because of a .com bubble. And I'm guessing this was in what?
Like 90 something.
This was written in the 90s?
Yeah. That's when the .com bubble was.
Oh. But they make fun of him that he's doing the .com bubble so late.
Oh, sure. It might have been 2000. Here, I can pull it up.
But they joke at him about it so much that he's doing the .com bubble late.
Copyright 2002. Yeah.
Oh, geez, 2002, and that was still late for the bubble?
Yeah, bubble was like 99.
Oh, wow. Jesus, the internet's been around a lot longer than you think it has.
There's internet as in, hey, we can
the internet
Google
I
stuff,
think of,
and then
the internet I think of,
and
is
then there's
you can
Twitter
sit down
internet.
and you can turn on a fucking movie and watch the movie without it buffering.
Oh yeah,
that's the internet I think about, but I don't think about like one of the colleagues I work with. He's talking about he had internet in 2000, and like all he did was just he'd pull up like wiki sites or text sites.
Yeah.
He could search so and so, and it would pull up, and that was the internet.
Oh no, see, we always had the internet, but it was dial up for the longest time.
Right.
And
I
where
grew
it
up
took
in a
me,
town that we didn't have internet.
Yeah.
To have internet, we had to go to Greenville.
Yeah.
And that my parents just got internet like 4 years ago, 3 years ago. Like real internet, not dial-up internet, but an internet.
They got Wi-Fi like 2 years
But
ago.
an internet that you can actually sit there and pull up a fucking video and it play without stopping.
Yeah, no. I remember I was in middle school. I got like an MP3 player, not like an iPod or anything like that, but like an actual MP3 player to listen to music before like my middle school games. And it took 30 minutes to download one song.
Right. And that's what us in middle school was 09, 08.
Yeah.
07. 07, 08, 09. I mean, that's when we played. And I just, I don't know. I guess I
always think of the internet pre and post Twitter.
Yeah.
Which was
I
like
think of it as
2011,
it's like YouTube. YouTube started in 04.
Yeah, no, it didn't get
YouTube was in 04.
Yeah.
That you could sit down, go to YouTube, and play fucking videos.
Yeah.
And me in 04 and Pineapple, I was lucky if I could get my homework done on the internet or even look at anything on the internet. And now, I mean, it's changed so much. But
that was a weird tangent, but yeah.
Yeah, we went way off the deep end on that. But either way, and then him losing the money, and then you realize, oh, well, now she owes Bluebeard.
Yeah.
Or she has to marry Bluebeard.
Who is known for killing his wife.
Yeah. And so now she fakes her death.
Yeah.
Didn't see it coming. I honestly, I did not see it coming at all.
There was a split second where I was like, what if she just ran away because everybody here seems shitty? But
well, I kind of thought that too, but then the excessive amount of blood. Why go through that if you were just going to run away?
Yeah.
But the fact that she hung around to come to the Remembrance Day ball, to still be around everybody, I thought was a little knock on the nose of, you're so fucking stupid. And again, they
were like, they're dumb. Which these people are like centuries years old, but they're like, they're dumb kids.
Yeah, and they poke fun at Jack a lot about being
kind of
stupid. Yeah,
schemes.
I mean,
like that.
And to me, that's kind of stupid shit. And I kind of understand, like, all right, she showed back up because she is not very smart and just getting out of town, just getting the frick away.
We knew whoever it was could not resist.
Yeah,
coming to the biggest party of the year. So
and I guess now thinking about it, Wolf tells Jack go get her.
Yeah,
and Jack's just like, okay, like, and he knew who to go get. Because, Wolf and Jack talk after Snow White.
That didn't make no sense. If I'm Jack, I fucking, like...
He knew. Well,
Yeah.
Wolf also gave him the ultimatum: you go get her, or I have real charges that I can put you in prison.
True.
And I guess that's the only way he stayed.
Yeah.
And then how about Snow White turning the tables on everybody and
basically just resetting everything back to normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prince Charming trying to sell off his fake fortune. That was that was funny.
Hey, it worked. Millions of dollars in that raffle.
Then it went,
but then
because of everything,
he didn't read the contract, and so she was like, "Well, there were fees involved."
They paid off Bluebeard,
Mm-hmm.
paid off the dowry,
Yeah,
kept him from going crazy, and got Rose Red out of a marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And the two kids, they needed money
to pay fines.
Jack won all the rights to in the lottery to Prince Charming's land. So Charming now has $20,000. He's going to pay them. They're going to pay the $10,000 to pay their fines back. And it just
all's well, or happily. I think happily ever after was what it was. But
cool. It's not at all the way I thought. Like we've said many times now, not the way I thought it was going. Glad it did go this way.
Yeah.
Cool, and keeping
definitely going to read volume 2 at some point.
I know we say this every time when we read this stuff, but this is another. I want to read volume 2.
I think we mentioned it before, but what I'm thinking in my head is this is the first month we've had 5 Tuesdays.
Yeah, and next week you get your first 5th issue of a month.
Yeah. Now we chose a Wonder Woman story because as of right now, when we're filming this,
it's supposed to be coming out.
It's supposed to be coming out. Who knows? But on those 5th weeks of the month, we can pick one that we read before that we're not doing a continuous on and do
like
volume 2 of.
And there's not many 5th Tuesdays in a month.
Or if y'all just
or in a year
request us enough. Yeah. We'll pick up one again.
And we'll put it into the
rotation.
The 4th week. Yeah. If you want us to read, if there's that much push for it, we'll put it in the 4th week.
Yeah. But hey, y'all
gotta push for it.
Y'all gotta tweet us, comment on YouTube, all that kind of stuff.
Because if not, we're gonna bring we're gonna try to bring as much stuff to the table as possible.
Which I mean, as of filming this right now, we don't get a lot of that stuff.
Well, so please.
And it might only take like 2 for us to go, okay, we'll do another one.
Hey, then first 2 people are going to get a shout out too.
Yeah. Speaking of which, beginning of last month, I shouted out the French guy who has listened to every episode.
In its entirety, not just to start. I mean, they're
downloaded it before we even said it was public.
Yes.
But we are now in a bunch of different countries.
Yes.
The only continents that we aren't on is Antarctica, South America, and Australia. So shout out to everybody listening around the world.
Yeah. What we've got Nigeria.
Nigeria is the one country we're in Africa.
Vietnam.
There are a lot of Indian listeners.
India.
Why? It's about the only place we're in Asia, but they get weekly close to the same, or only a handful less than United States.
Wow, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
I know we've got some in Vietnam. We had a couple listeners.
Yes. I guess
I think there's a South Korea.
Yeah.
Did you say it was South Korea?
Maybe. I'd have to go back and look.
But and then Europe, of course.
Europe, we have France, England, Spain.
Yeah.
I think there's some Germany in there too.
Cool.
I think some Canadian, even some Mexico.
Nice.
And of course, United States.
Yeah.
But
got any of our northern brothers? Canada.
I said Canadian, but let's not say it like that. That was kind of creepy.
Whatever.
Kind of creepy.
It was an old thing.
Yes, but we're also from Alabama, so we have to watch how we say things.
Didn't mean it bad. I'm sorry.
But yeah, so we just want to thank y'all for listening.
And get the word out for you that are following us and listening to everything. Please get us out there. We want to keep this going, and the more subscribers and listeners we have, the more we can do this.
Yeah.
And like we talked about in the last episode, the more we have, the more stuff Thomas can do on his own, the more stuff I can do on my own, and we can bring all that to the table
and try to
with y'all and include y'all and bring this all together for what we hope to be something that turns out to be pretty good.
Yeah. We'd honestly love to quit our jobs and do this full time.
Yeah, we could do it.
That's going to take a lot more people.
It's going to take a lot of work, and it's nothing that's going to happen anytime soon. So,
but yeah, so next week is Wonder Woman Earth 1.
Yep. Volume 1.
Volume 1.
Yep. So.
Yeah, we have some thoughts on that.
Yeah, we'll get into that next week.
But yeah, so I guess we'll see y'all next week.
All right. Bye.
Bye.